Hey, I'm Tom Seymour with VHS Massacre, and thanks for joining us. And today we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but we wanted to start with some film festival updates and some music updates. So, for those of you who don't know, Tim Kulig, I like to call him the prince of royalty-free music. So he created close to 1,000 songs that anyone can use in their films and videos on YouTube and even in their films for free, as long as they give accreditation. If you don't want to do that, you can pay for a license. I think it's only, what, $30?
Yeah, yeah.
But we're kind of are we celebrating 900 or what are we doing?
So, I mean, it's right there. I mean, we might as well. It's $8.94, and I have easily 20 to 30 that I'm going to be working on this week. Literally doing the walking, reviewing, editing, final review, posting this week before the 30th.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's something Tim does. He goes on these long walks, great for exercise, and when he's done creating these tunes, it's a nice thing to do. It's a good thing to do for yourself. It's like self-care as well. You're getting some exercise, you're walking, but you're also listening through to your songs for quality control.
Yeah.
Before you put them out in an album, which I think is really cool.
It's important from a musician standpoint because when you're in the studio, you have, I mean, these are $800 monitors, right? Each. So the sound quality of them is superb. But to listen to them on earbuds or in the car or, a car, like an older car with like a so-so sound system, that kind of thing, like it's really important to hear it on different things because sometimes you're like, the low end doesn't cut through on that. Like it's, you know what I mean? Or that whole part doesn't seem to penetrate the mix. So it's really important to get a different perspective and a different environment when you're reviewing music because you may have unintentional negative consequences after you publish and you're like, oh, I really have to give these reality checks before I release them. So it's just something you learn over time,
Yeah, I know that that recording studio that was it George Engel and Sling Sang Records? I forget the name of that studio, but they had like a really old crappy radio. And that was like one of the last things they did was listening into it on the worst possible radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to make sure it holds together,
Yeah. I mean, most DAWs today, digital audio workstations, for people that don't know what that means, and that's basically the system that I use to record everything. Most of them have a mastering function or functions that take care of most of that. So you run it through filters, you do some balancing, you fix the levels, you make sure it's in the right channel, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, whatever. You can go crazy and do what Apple Music likes to see, which is the Atmos release. There's a big push for that nowadays, and it's a Dolby Atmos. Like they kind of prefer that, and they'll kind of promote the music if you release stuff in that format, which I might start experimenting with this fall batch, just because the problem is you have to upload another version of it. It's a high res, that kind of thing. So, but again, the bottom line is that, there's tools to get you there, but it's a process, man. It's a process.
Yeah. So Tim and I collaborate on these documentaries. You probably know them, the VHS Massacre documentaries. So the latest one's called Video Dreams, and that's about trying to get a film on the shelf at Blockbuster Video. And it's deeply personal to me. It's kind of autobiographical, but Tim's in it as well and co-narrates, and his music is in it. And so we kind of, we team up on these things, and so we're in the film festival circuit right now. First thing I would say is like, you can absolutely do what we're doing. This documentary really it didn't really take any money. It just took time, like a year and a half of editing, because it was so much archival footage. But you can do it. That being said, we hit a pretty big landmark finally. If I could share my screen.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see.
I don't think I have to give you permission.
Yeah, sorry, I got it. Share Instagram. All right. We got it?
Yep.
Okay, so if we're looking here, so we recently got selected to CineXS Film Festival, which is a top genre film festival in the United Kingdom. And it's actually the absolute top academic film festival in association with genre film festivals. But
What
in
would they be equivalent in the U.S.?
CineXS would be equivalent to Fantastic Fest.
Okay.
And I looked this up on all sorts of search engines and with statistics. So CineXS would absolutely be equivalent to something like Fantastic Fest or Fantasia or Popcorn Frights, Film Quest. So in regard to genre cinema, that's a whole different list of top festivals. Then if we were talking about like film festivals, we'd be talking about like Sundance, Toronto, Cannes, things like that. But then New York Film Festival, but then the other top is independent, because you'd be surprised. Like New York Film Festival is not independent at all. Sundance really isn't either. Like there's top independent, which is like, that you're going to get into like maybe South by Southwest, San Francisco Indie Fest, So it's interesting. And then there's also top documentary festivals like Hot Docs and Doc NYC, but this is, by all standards, a significant achievement for Video Dreams. Something that if you talked to me a year and a half ago, as I was tinkering, I was putting together these little like vignettes, these little scenes with music and narration. I'd send them to Tim. If you can imagine how like crude it was. I mean, I was taking old VHS raw footage from films I made, films that Tim and I made like when we were like 16, 17.
Yeah.
At
the very least, early 20s, right?
Yeah.
Late teens, early 20s. Well, yeah, because I was going to UConn in West Hartford with your brother at the time. So,
yeah.
I had to be 18, 19 for me.
18, 19, yeah, for sure.
Both teenagers,
Yeah. I don't know, though, Tim. The footage said 93 on it. And
I was 18 at the time.
Oh, you were? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You're 2 years old. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I forgot.
It's hard to... It's easy to forget because, like, dude, we've been friends for what? God, that's 33 years, 34 years.
Well, also, like, when you get older, like, 2 years is absolutely nothing, you know? So you're like, oh, yeah, if I was 16 or 17 and you were 18 or 19, it's like, I don't know, kind of funny. But so anyway, but I do have to say this was, and Tim will tell you, like, I was in kind of a bad place because although statistically we're doing well, our selection rate is above 50%. This month I had gotten I think it was like 6 or 7 rejections in a row. It was just
it's disenchanting, right? Like,
yeah,
for sure, to see that all in a row. Like, have it break up a little bit and be like 2 off, 1 on, 2 on, 1 off. Like, that's a nice feeling, right?
Yeah,
because you feel the momentum, but then you feel like a break in the momentum when you get like a batch like that.
And they were all huge rejections. Yeah. And I was like, dude, are we, so it felt like, you're stuck on this ladder dangling, and there's like, you're just looking for that solid rung to grasp. And when CineXS came in and they offered it, I was like, man, okay. So it was like a second chance for the film festival circuit to really open up into something special. It's not that we weren't doing well and winning, but like this changes things. So I really, thanks to everyone at CineXS,
Yeah.
So,
and that's the 4th one in the UK that was an official selection for this film, Video Dreams, and for this festival run. So the exciting part about that is like even though we have some disappointment that we saw with the several festivals that we got rejections from, we're seeing a trend with this one, and the trend is different markets are really resonating with the film.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're really important markets. Like we're doing well in Italy and in the United Kingdom and even in Spain Poland. But like, if you think about really important, uh, in France, we're killing it. We won Cine Paris, Best Director. We won Halluciana, Paris, France. We were a finalist at World Film Festival in Cannes. That's 3, 3 right in France, 2 in Italy. Torino Underground is a major underground fest there, equivalent, some say, to Chicago Underground. It's like definitely like a for underground fests, it's legit. But the biggest thing I like to joke around about is that this concept of so we played at in the United Kingdom, Black Sunday Film Festival. We have the Spirit of Independence, which is a British Independent Film Award qualifying festival, a very important festival that we're going to play very soon, coming up in late September. So if you're in the UK, check on vhsmassacre.com. It has some dates. Magoria, that's a Welsh premiere. Sin Excess. Anyway, we'll have more information on that. But that's like four UK festivals, and I'm like, so my delusion is that I'm pulling a reverse Christopher Nolan. So when Christopher Nolan, given he was probably 20 years younger than I am, but when Christopher Nolan made The Following, the story goes that he couldn't get much foothold into the film festivals in the United Kingdom. He couldn't get into any of the big ones over here, but he submitted to Slamdance over here. Eventually, he gets into Slamdance. They really dig The Following. If you haven't seen The Following, I actually think it's one of his best films. I love that film. So resourceful. It's such a great film. So that played in Slamdance, but then that opened the door. It did so well. Other festivals like San Francisco Film Festival took it, and a bunch of other ones did, and like his fame grew within the United States, and then the United Kingdom kind of noticed him from here. It was really kind of backwards. So I like to say that we're doing a reverse Christopher Nolan. So I hope that's true. Right? It's my fantasy anyway. I think that would be cool.
No, we're about 50% through, right?
Yeah.
Does it make like 50, 51 festivals that have so far given us a response of some kind? And I think we've submitted to like 102.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah, I knew, like, we talked about this before. We weren't quite there yet, but I even said to you, and you're like, I don't know, like, I'm not sure how many. I'm like, dude, we're going to break 100. Like, we're just, it's going to be over 100. Sure enough, here we go. But one of the other things that's been not a discouragement, but I guess maybe a strange nuance to this year's run, or this film's run rather, because it's a multi-year run, so it's going to spill over into next year. But one of the strange things that's been happening with this one is that a lot of festivals have been pushing their dates, and it's very strange, right? Like, one or two festivals here or there running behind and having to push the final entry date or the response date is one thing, right? Because I know that even some festivals that we've been in and done well over the years, sometimes it's a matter of course that there's only so much time, and they need time for people to come in and do the thing, have the review council come in and look at everything and make sure they give everybody a fair shot, right? And sometimes they have to extend dates for that reason. But this is fairly unusual. Like, we had a big batch in September that they were spread out like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and it's like the whole set got shifted by like 2 or 3 weeks. Right,
you're dead on. You're dead on. Yeah, it drifted for weeks and weeks, and when you're sitting there biting your nails, because you waited. You got to think about this. You're waiting months for this notification date, and the notification date just drifts by, and you're feeling like this anxiety. But then you're realizing there's a bulk of them. I would say easily 6 festivals just kept pushing.
Yeah.
I did some research on like why that phenomenon might happen, and I think you're dead on with the there may be a record number of film festival entries And in one sense, that's kind of wonderful, because what that means is that we've kind of come out of COVID and there's some thirsty filmmakers out there, and they're just making work, and they're making a lot of work. And I think that's great. I, ho- I hope these festivals are not just jam packed full of crappy Netflix movies and stuff like that. I
Mm.
hope it's not that. I don't think it is, but we'll see. You never know.